Album got shelved. And Dobson had dropped me at that point. Cut. I went back to, it's not my time yet, or I need Toronto, and I was in my law. This sounds so familiar. Wait, I think I wrote the song. And it was Miley Cyrus singing Start All Over. And that was supposed to be on the album.
Okay, if you were outside in the early 2000s like me, you remember when there was a punk, pop alternative music was everywhere. And you probably remember Avril Lavigne, but a lot of people forget is that Fefe Dobson was right there next to her. She was Canadian and they were of the same genre. And recently she went on a podcast and she spoke about how her album got shelved, but how all the songs she worked on and that she wrote later ended up becoming hits for other artists. Kind of crazy when you think about it. Just think about you develop something and you work hard on something and people pretend to like it, but then they give it away, including the credit.
It got me back in the studio. It got me to write again. And then after that, it was like Selena Gomez doing As a Blonde, which is the first song, I think, on the album.
I think many of us recognize the feeling of being welcomed into a space, but still sensing we're only there to represent something strictly professional. And what do I mean by that? I mean that this can show up in a whole lot of ways. When some people are encouraged to bring all elements of their personality, their quirks, their aesthetics, their weaknesses, and their strengths into the space, it gets called individuality, or just who this person is. You have to accept them. But when we bring the same parts of ourselves, it can be misread as distracting. So when I look back at that era, I look at it as very happy and nostalgic. But as a person who lives through something kind of similar today, her career hits way differently for me now. And when we start seeing patterns and we notice the difference between being included and actually belonging, we begin to understand the lived experiences that we didn't quite have words for before. And many of us recognize the feeling in more than one place. I'll see you guys next time. So at the end of the video, I'm going to leave a few comments with people giving their opinions about what they think happened with her career. You can leave your comments down below about what you think happened to her career.
Album got shelved. And Dobson had dropped me at that point. You know, like I made this record, think it's amazing, and cut. I went back to Toronto and I was in my loft and like chilling and crying and drinking wine by myself, calling my mom. But my TV was on and I heard someone singing this song that sounded so familiar. And at that point, I thought my career was done. And I was like, why does this sound so familiar? Wait, I think I wrote the song. And I went out and it was Miley Cyrus singing Start All Over. And that was supposed to be on the album.
That was too confusing.
And it was
crazy.
I stood there watching the video. I remember just sitting there just depressed and watching the video and be like, oh my God, I'm not a piece of It changed my life. It got me back in the studio. It got me to write again. And then after that, it was like Selena Gomez.